Hey, welcome to SARA, the Sex Addiction Recovery Association, in association with the Transformed Hearts Training Institute. This is level 1 training session 8, and hopefully you all are reading some of the materials I'm recommending, especially the blogs. If you want to get into the level 2 training, there's be a exam test, nothing too crazy, but showing that you are getting the effort into this to have access to the level 2 training. So we're going to move on here to this session. So many years ago, I had a revelation that, wouldn't it be great if you could predict or have a tool if couples you're working with were engaged, cohabiting, wanting to spend the rest of their lives together, and to identify warning signs that you're dating an anorexic, someone addicted to safety. Okay, the anorexia again is the withholding of love, starvation of love. And so I was actually sharing this in my women's group not that long ago, and the women always say, why didn't we have this sooner? If I just would have known. So prevention from future pain would be very helpful. And you're going to notice as we go through this, there's similarities in the anorexic assessment. Okay. But if this person is dating someone, these are some of the warning signs that they may want to end it, run the other way, get help for themselves and their partner sooner than later. So number one, he or she has a very close relationship to his mother or father. You might feel like a third wheel, and when you're around them, around the two or three of them. So with this is also known as emotional incest. Great book by Patricia Love. LOVE, Ken Adams, another great book is written on this idea of emotional incest. And so generally the oldest or only son or daughter has an inappropriate attachment to the opposite gender parent. Okay, that's a big one. Number two, your partner's parents guilt or shame them into doing things for them or coming to visit them. They have a difficult time setting boundaries with their parents and saying no. Again, this is codependency. Number three, one or both of your partner's parents have a history of addiction or addictive behaviors. Your partner's physical, emotional, and relational needs were neglected. Okay. Most everyone likes them. They appear to have no enemies. They have many acquaintances, but few, if any, close friends. Your parents really like them and find nothing wrong with them. In fact, they wish he'd be pleasant and charming like they are. Number six, they experience physical or sexual abuse or trauma as a child. They have shown signs of sexual addiction, such as porn use and or masturbation, or both. They do not express feelings of anger around you or allow you to see them angry. If you have seen them angry, they withdraw or shut down into silence. And I'm not talking for minutes, but usually it's hours or days. 10, they appear cool, calm, and in control of their emotions. They are never too happy or sad. They appear emotionally cold and detached. Again, that can be part of the schizoid stuff. Facial affect is very flat. 11, they appear to have it all together and have life figured out. Image is very important to them, or what I call the photo. The smile, but what's behind the photo. How they look, dress, and what others think of them. Not involved in drugs or alcohol. Pretty straight-laced young men and women. And as they do not like losing control. They may be very active in their faith, religious practice, and seem to over-spiritualize life. They are busy at work and at home and have difficult time finding time for you. And there's always a reason not having time for you appears justified. They did not date much or at all before meeting you. You might have met them online. Much of your relationship has been long distance. And we are entering a more anorexic culture as technology continues to be more part of our lives. 16, when together, they have a difficult time making decisions. Again, that's part of codependency, such as where do you want to eat? They make everything a question. Do you want to have Italian or Mexican? They have a difficult time making assertive statements, such as I want to take you out for Italian tonight. And so with this, the anorexic doesn't take initiative. Okay, you'll know this while dating your partner, that it feels like you're dragging them. A lot of women especially have told me that they feel like he doesn't want to, and everything she does makes him a have to. Okay, a woman doesn't, what do I say, she wants to be wanted, she doesn't want to be needed. Okay. And so this is very, very common with intimacy anorexic, especially the men, is not pursuing. Okay. The woman, years into the marriage looks back and realizes, oh my gosh, I noticed this on the first date. And they betrayed themselves and ignored it. And here they are 20, 30 years later, finally connecting the dots. 17, they show resistance or awkwardness towards non-sexual touch, such as hugs, holding hands, and cuddling. 18, they make you feel guilty or shame you for spending money, or question how your family spends their money. They blame others for the problems in their life. They have a difficult time owning their mistakes or apologizing with sincerity. They act differently in a group, and they may be the life of the party and socially involved. However, when alone with them, they are reserved and have a difficult expressing their thoughts and feelings, and they might accuse, blame, and criticize you in private, shut down, don't say much, very, very different, kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde. 21, they are a good listener, but do not share much of their own thoughts and feelings. This is a big one. And women married look back and they're like, oh my gosh, you're right. He never says, I'm the chatterbox, or the echo, as the blog I did on the mythos of Narcissus and Echo. Check it out. They're a nice guy or gal, having strict boundaries, restraint from physical touch, sex, and intimacy. And 3, self-righteous. 23, better than others, difficult admitting or seeing themselves as flawed. A lot of intimacy anorexics have this very strong core belief. We've been starting to talk about core beliefs. We'll get more of that into level 2 and 3. But one of the biggest ones is intimacy anorexic believes is I got to be perfect to be loved. If I'm imperfect, I'm unlovable. So therefore, they don't let you see their flaws. Okay. Because growing up, they had to be perfect to be loved. They were loved for what they do, not who they were. That double bind stuff we were talking about earlier, and creates a lot of confusion in a young man or woman. All right, so again, 24, warning signs the person is dating an anorexic. So they act social and transparent in public settings, but closed off and have difficulty sharing with you in private. So this is what I call transparency versus vulnerability. And there's a whole blog on this as well, titled that very thing. And women feel slighted, like they'll be in public, a community event, church, synagogue, and he's talking to the opposite sex, and she's learning about his week through overhearing this conversation she was not even aware of. So it can be very hurtful. And the thing is, the anorexic is not sharing that anything more that transparent, like a window. So he'll be very transparent, like a window. You can see through it, but this information cannot be used against him or her. Now, vulnerability, this is where in private, the vulnerability, he shuts down or she, okay? And because what he says and really gets honest, because the monogamous or marital relationship, there's no more hiding, okay? It's the only relationship that requires 100% of you physically, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, okay? And that like straight jacket doesn't want to come off. Okay, that straight jacket doesn't want to come off. And so he looks vulnerable with other people or she, but really it's just transparency. Vulnerability is more, now you have this information and you can use it against me. Okay, and you only see this in a monogamous or married relationship with an anorexic male or female. Okay. Number 25, they have features of narcissism, borderline personality disorder, avoidant, CPTSD, OCD, schizoid, or perhaps a thought disorder. I've not talked a lot about this yet, but done a blog on it at the Transformed Hearts website called The Female Narcissist, two-part blog, and also looking at thought disorders. We don't talk a lot about this in the mental health world. I don't know why. But it is a very real and big problem. Thought disorder is a very difficult thing to treat. Okay, very difficult, and usually can be a death sentence to the relationship. 26, may be pursuing a career in IT, tech, accounting, engineering, pilot, civil service, or things like police or military work. Now, that doesn't mean an anorexic is not outside of those professions, or people that have those professions are anorexic, okay? But just a theme I have seen. And it revolves around the unaccountable time, right? All right, we're getting into next assessment. So one of the 9, this is called emotional addiction, okay? And I started realizing this about 2014, 15, came up with this assessment, blogged about it, and highly recommend, I think, Dr. Joe Dispenza in his books, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Becoming Supernatural, You Are the Placebo, does a tremendous job putting the science behind this, okay? All right, and understanding the autonomic nervous system, okay? And I know I keep mentioning that. I'm not going to get much into that in this level of training just yet. So number 1, more often than not, do you base your social and personal activities on your positive or negative emotions, or do your feelings dictate how you act? Okay, so more often than not, any given day, week, month, year, person would be answering yes or no. Do you often feel offended, stuck in judgment, accusation, blame, or critical thinking towards others? 3, do you have a difficult time hearing and accepting the word no from others, or is it difficult for you to stay in relationship with those who disagree with you? Big one. Number 4, even though factual information and proof has been given to you, do you refuse to accept the data as this does not agree with your emotional reality? And that's a cognitive dissonance moment there. Okay, we talked about that in the early sessions. I haven't watched those, please do watch those. It's a really important concept that we actually might be getting to in the next session. I don't know if I've gotten that deep into that yet. Number 5, do you find it difficult to finish things that you start because they're too difficult, and or you start to feel better and believe you no longer need to continue to receive help that initially motivated you? Good starters, poor finishers. Number 6, do your feelings serve as a lie detector in order for you to determine what is true about the world around you, or do your good positive feelings become a detector of what is true, and your bad negative feelings become a detector for what is false? A lot of people live this way, very dangerous. Do you have a difficult time verbally expressing your emotions as well as staying calm in present or in the present moment and calm, known as being that observer. Okay. Number 8, do you use drugs, sex, intimacy, anorexia, alcohol, gaming, shopping, internet, TV, etc. to chronically numb, oftentimes feeling worse instead of better after use? Number 9, do you eat to medicate your emotions even though you are not hungry? 10, do you have moments of uncontrolled anger that has caused you problems in your personal or professional life? 11, so losing jobs, arrest, those 5 areas of a problem, right? 11, does being alone cause you anxiety, or is it difficult for you to be still, quiet, and just be without trying to fill the space with time and the time with doing something? 12, does the daily success or failure of your career have a significant impact on how you feel about yourself? 13, do you really allow yourself to feel joy, or would you rather live disappointed than ever feel disappointed? That's a big one. Got to give credit to Brene Brown. If you've not listened to her audio, not the TED Talk audio, but she did a 9 hour audio, and it might even be a video on I can think of it later. The name of it's escaping me. All right, and that's, yeah. Do you feel disappointed rather live disappointed than feel disappointed? Number 14, do you believe you have suffered emotional abuse from others, or do you believe if only they would change, your life would be better? And again, that's that victim cycle stuff we covered earlier. If you forgot, go watch back the victim-victor cycle. All right, related blogs. I would click on these, but the toggle doesn't work this well with Zoom recording, so I apologize for that. But go to these and read Understanding Emotional Addiction. This is your homework. Are you addicted to your acidic emotions? Meditation is the medication. Becoming conscious, and emotions versus feelings. There's another one. There's a series on what is consciousness. Check it out, learn, take notes, print them, share them, and have fun with it. So this is the end of session 8. Look forward to 9, 10, 11, and 12. Excited we're getting this accomplished. This is a long time goal and getting this information out there. So like, share, subscribe, and have an amazing day. Grateful for your attendance, spending your time with us. I don't take that lightly. Appreciate it greatly. Till next time.